Hello, I'm Mariana Heinrich, working at the World Business Council for Sustainable Development. I am in charge of our programs on renewables and the transformation to a low-carbon electricity sector. Today, I will talk to you about how business are working collectively to reduce barriers to renewable deployment. Renewable energy is competitive in many countries. The cost of onshore wind has been as low as 60 to 90 US dollar per megawatt hour, with the best prices around 50 US dollars per megawatt hour without any support. New solar PV plants in the Middle East, for example, were contracted to 30 to 40 US dollar per megawatt hour. In Mexico, for 35 to 45, and most recently in Chile, for as low as 30 US dollars per megawatt hour. Renewable energy is also a reliable form of generation. There have been dramatic improvements in the accuracy of forecasting, in remote monitoring and control. Renewables are also capable of providing system services. In most mature markets, renewables can also contribute to the system by providing ancillary services or other grid stabilization services. Renewables bring also wide-ranging benefits. In addition of achieving a lower CO2, they bring environmental, socioeconomic, and technical benefits. These include, for example, an improved local environmental quality, increased energy security, increased job opportunities, and local economic development, as well as an increased flexibility and resilience. Renewable deployment is growing rapidly globally. But acceleration is still needed. As of 2015, renewable energy accounted for 22.8% of global electricity production. Hydropower continues to dominate that, accounting for 16.6%. However, wind and solar are experiencing much higher growth rates, with an average growth rate of 18% in 2014. Based on an assessment of policies in place or announced today, renewables are projected to become the leading source of generation by 2030. But this is not enough. Considerable acceleration in deployment is needed to achieve a pathway consistent with the 2-degree scenario. This brings us to the second point of my talk today, the Low Carbon Technology Partnership Initiative. With a solid framework and a clear agenda, the LCTPI is a unique, action-oriented program that brings together companies and partners to accelerate the development of a low-carbon technology solutions to stay below the 2-degree ceiling, led by the WBCSD, in partnership with the IEA and SDSN. LCTPI has gathered over 150 global businesses and 70 partners to work collaboratively on the climate challenge. According to an impact assessment done by PwC, the 9 LCTPI focus areas could, if fully implemented, contribute to 65% of the emissions reductions needed in 2030 to prevent harmful climate change. Within the LCTPI, one workstream is focusing on renewables, the Rescale LCTPI. The ambition statement is that renewable energy is reliable and increasingly competitive, and we believe that 1.5 terawatt of additional capacity can be deployed before 2025. The action that we are taking is working to scale up renewable energy by removing barriers to finance, implementing new business models, and improving renewable market integration. Active within the program are 24 companies, ranging from technology providers to developers, as well as utilities and companies buying renewable power. We also have legal and financial stakeholders involved. Together, those companies are developing solutions to address barriers to accelerate the deployment of renewable energy. We are working in 4 work streams. Number 1, facilitating the significant scale-up of finance for renewables by exploring the investment vehicles and de-risking project pipelines. Number 2, working with corporate renewable energy buyers to scale renewable energy procurement and to substitute demand towards renewable energy. Number 3, facilitating efficient, reliable, effective, and commercially viable integration of renewable energy into electricity markets. And number 4, promoting sustainable electrification of remote areas via the deployment of low-carbon microgrids containing renewables. The potential impact of the Rescale program in 2030 could be very significant. We could achieve up to 5 gigatons per annum of CO2 reduction. It could also leverage over $3 trillion in investment and create up to 15 million jobs. While the private sector can and will take the lead, we cannot act alone. Success also depends on urgent action by government. Private companies really require a stable and robust carbon pricing system across all sectors of the economy. Also, a stable and reliable energy policy framework. Thirdly, a level playing field between renewable and conventional technologies. And lastly, the development of operational and market frameworks to harness and value the full potential that renewables can offer. This brings me to the next section of this chapter, our key achievements in 2016. We have improved the understanding of opportunities that renewable energy offer to stakeholders along the supply chain through various multi-stakeholder workshops. We have also raised the visibility of the solutions available to scale renewable deployment through 3 reports accessible to anyone. Now let me highlight a few key performance indicators which show the leadership of renewable companies engaged in our program. The installed capacity of the companies active in Rescale is 299 gigawatts, which has increased by 22% in comparison to 2014. The installed capacity of renewable energy worldwide grew by 9% in 2015. The companies involved in Rescale contributed to 1/3 of that capacity increase. So, despite the dramatic cost reductions seen over the last 12 months in renewables and the growing demand for renewable assets from divestors, the barriers to a significant scale-up remain. Innovative business models and financing approaches are driving much of the recent deployment and cost reductions, but need to be applied globally to achieve the 2-degree scenario. So building on the success of the program so far, in 2017, our work will look to impact in new regions, establish wider collaborations, and move into new deep dives. To wrap up, let me give you a short summary of what we've been talking about. Renewables are a reliable generation technology. In many countries, they are cost competitive with fossil fuels. WBCSD is running a program to increase the deployment of renewables globally, focusing to remove barriers to renewable finance, improve the bankability of projects, and integration of renewables into markets. It is essential to make the business case for renewables with companies worldwide to achieve the growth and deployment that is needed to decarbonize the electricity sector. Thank you.